Let me tell you why you keep accepting things you know you should walk away from. It's not because you're loyal. It's not because you're patient. It's because deep down, you feel like you don't have options. You stay with the woman who disrespects you because you're afraid another one won't want you. You stay at the job that drains you because you don't have another skill ready. You keep explaining, chasing, forgiving, and lowering your standards. Because when a man has only one option, he becomes terrified of losing it. And once fear controls your decisions, you're no longer leading your life. You're being led by your circumstances. In this episode, I'm going to show you why a man with no options becomes easy to control and how building options turns you from desperate into dangerous. Let's get to it. If you have no options, you have no power. A man with no money tolerates disrespect for a paycheck. A man with no purpose tolerates manipulation for attention. A man with no women tolerates bad behavior because he's terrified of losing the only one giving him validation. See how that works? And that fear changes you. It makes you emotional, reactive, weak in your decision making, because when you have only one source of survival, one source of attention, one source of emotional comfort, you become dependent on it. And dependence is slavery. The modern man is suffering because he builds his life around comfort instead of capability. Today, we're going to talk about why men become slaves to their circumstances and how to become the kind of men who always has options. Most men don't realize this. Women are attracted to freedom, not desperation. The moment a woman feels like she is your only option, she unconsciously feels pressure instead of attraction. Why? Because feminine energy wants to attach itself to strength, stability, leadership, and emotional control, not emotional dependency. A man with options behaves differently. He doesn't panic, he doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't negotiate his self-respect for temporary affection. You hear that? Because his life is abundant beyond women. And ironically, that's exactly what makes women respect him more. When a man has no options, he becomes easy to manipulate. If your happiness depends on one woman texting you back, she controls your emotional state. If your survival depends on one job, your employer controls your dignity. If your confidence depends on people approving of you, society controls your identity. As simple as that. Most men today are psychologically trapped because they never built leverage in life. They put all their emotional energy into one thing. One woman, one paycheck, one identity, one comfort zone. And when that one thing they focus on shakes, their entire world collapses. That's why some men stay in toxic relationships for years. Not because they're in love, but because they're scared they cannot replace the experience. Scarcity creates tolerance for disrespect. Abundance creates standards. A man with options can walk away calmly because he knows his value doesn't disappear when one person leaves. Women can sense fear faster than men realize. Not through logic, through energy, behavior, and emotional reactions. The more afraid you are to lose her, the more she unconsciously feels she has power over you. Then the dynamic shifts. You start over-explaining yourself, over-texting, seeking reassurance constantly, avoiding conflict because you feel abandonment, and the woman stops seeing you as centered masculine energy when that happens. She starts seeing emotional dependency. A woman does not want to feel that she's your entire world. She wants to feel like she's entering your world. See how that works? That means your mission comes first, your discipline comes first, your purpose comes first, your self-respect comes first. When a man builds his life correctly, women become complement to his life, not the foundation of his identity. And that changes everything, brother. A lot of men here have options and immediately think they mean only women. No, that's not the case. Options are built in every area of life. A man with skills has career options. A man with discipline has physical options. A man with emotional control has psychological options. A man with social intelligence has relationship options. See how that works? And a man with purpose has spiritual direction. The problem is, most men want confidence without competence. Confidence is earned. You earn it by becoming capable enough that life no longer scares you. You become dangerous to manipulation when you know, I can't survive without this. I don't need this. That mindset changes your posture, your voice, your decisions, your presence. Because now you're choosing not clinging. The strongest man in the room is usually the one who needs the least from others emotionally. Not because it's cold, because he's already built himself internally. He knows how to stand alone. That's why stoicism matters. Stoicism will save your life, by the way. Not to suppress emotion, but to control your reactions instead of letting emotions control you. A desperate man reacts emotionally to circumstances. A grounded man responds strategically. And women notice the difference immediately. One feels unstable, the other one feels safe. Simple as that. Masculinity is not about domination. It's about emotional stability under pressure. And stability comes from knowing you have options beyond the current situation. If you want freedom as a man, stop building dependency and start building capability. Learn skills. Build your body. Strengthen your mind. Practice stoicism. Create income streams. Develop emotional control. Expand your social circles. Build purpose beyond pleasure. Because the man with options is calm. He's not trapped by fear. Not controlled by loneliness. Not manipulated by temporary emotions. And the moment you stop needing validation to survive, listen to this carefully, you become dangerous to the system and people that relied on your weakness. A man with no options is a slave to his circumstances. But a man who builds himself becomes free. If this message connected with you, subscribe to the channel and comment. Discipline creates options because your freedom as a man starts the moment you stop living from desperation. This is Mark the Essence. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.